Move to the woods.
Yeah, technology's scary. Mine is The Internet Was a Mistake. KIMI is about Angela, a woman working for a giant tech company as an analyst that clears audio errors picked up by their virtual smart assistant, KIMI, which is like a Siri, Alexa type
Alexa.
thing. She thinks she hears something strange in one of the audio recordings, so she investigates. That's essentially the plot of the movie. It stars Zoe Kravitz as Angela. There's a bunch of other people in it, but they all have comparatively little screen time, very little, and a lot more people are in this than you'd expect from what was described as a pandemic movie where the main character is agoraphobic. It premiered Thursday, February 10th on HBO Max. I think it's an HBO Max exclusive. There's no theatrical release, at least yet. What did you think of KIMI?
I think this was really good. I think the pacing was very well, is totally right. I was not looking forward to it because, I said last week, I was like, God, we're doing pandemic content. Because I just fucking hate pandemic content. I see masks or whatever in a show, and I'm like, fuck.
I don't mind it as long as it doesn't revolve around like how people are like getting sick and dying and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's that sort of stuff, like being thrown in your face.
I consume entertainment for escapist reasons. This went way above the mark for me as far as that went. I was like, oh wow, I'm really enjoying this. Like, because I don't really, they lean into it a little bit, but they don't lean into it heavily.
Yeah, it was surprisingly thin on that sort of stuff, I would say. So she like
it was
leaves her
implied.
house.
It was more implied because there's masks.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
I think somebody like her psychiatrist mentions COVID. From now on, it's like spoiler territory for KIMI.
She hears, the audio.
Yep.
That you said, and she gets all like tech music nerdy on it, which I really thought was fun.
I appreciate that.
Like,
I think she has the
same.
She has the same interface you have, right?
She does. She has the same interface I have. Maybe she has like the higher end Focusrite, probably. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, she got the Focusrite interface, but then she goes and gets like a couple plugins that I think one or two of them I actually have to kind of fuck with. Mm-hmm. And then she goes and gets like some old school, or I shouldn't say old school, some more knob turny digital effect things to try and like, really dial in the sounds for what she's looking for, like in this weird recording. And then goes deeper, gets her guy on the inside.
Yeah.
To help her out, getting more deep information on what happened. And she starts to find out that like the CEO of the company.
Well, she doesn't know at this point, but she basically finds out that someone on that same KIMI device was murdered.
Yes.
And the murder kind of like plays out.
We see it.
The murder kind of plays out in her head, sort of, I guess, or they show us what happened while she's hearing it. She's kind of like imagining how this woman is getting killed and like wrapped up in like plastic. And then, we find out that it was, we kind of know at this point that it was the CEO of the company that's silencing a woman that is accused him of sexual assault because they're about to do an IPO for the company. They're going public.
Yep.
And he just wanted to quiet that. So he paid a bunch of money. That's like the first scene shown in the movie, but you have no idea what he's talking about in that. Kind of seems like it's sinister. Get those recordings, and then she goes to someone higher up than her immediate boss to try to get it resolved by the FBI. And then the people that did that find out essentially, and they go to try to get her. That's when it started getting to the point where I was like, okay, this is really well made. Like the shots where she's running through the server stack and the camera's on the other side. I think that was really cool. Later on, when she's drunk and then she's running to her apartment and the camera's like skewed to the side and then it flips the other way. It's just like little shit like that. I'm like, okay, this is a Steven Soderbergh directed movie and it's really well done. Like
I didn't know he was involved until the at the very end when it was like by Steven Soderbergh. I was like, oh, okay. It would have had me more immediately interested if I knew that, but it delivered without me knowing that.
First 55 minutes to an hour have like a slow thriller vibe, kind of like a Rear Window sort of. She hears a crime and she's trying to like figure out what happened. And then when she does, she tries to get the correct people that information so something can be done about it. But she ends up having to kind of do it herself.
I was very happy to see a nail gun finally get used in a movie, because there was a minute there where I was like, oh no, it's going to be super realistic, where it's like, if you actually upset a major tech company, like you're just going to die and get vanished.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh good. She has,
yeah. However,
she makes her way out of this.
I like how she used the KIMI to do that too. It kind of tied it all together, but, however unrealistic the ending was, it was more satisfying than her just getting murdered. Probably the realistic, like gritty take was her just getting fucking killed, but I'm glad that it didn't end that way. The other way was much better. Like it was a solid thriller. It wasn't mind blowing. Am I gonna run through the streets and be like, please watch KIMI? No. Is it the best movie I've seen that was released this year so far? Yes. Yeah. But that's also because I think it's a better movie than The Tinder Swindler, and that's the only other movie I've watched so far this year. Am I mad I watched it? No. Not at all. My favorite thing about it was probably its runtime. which is around 86 minutes without credits.
Yeah, super digestible when you have stuff like that going that way.
Yeah. More movies need to be
There's a lot more movies
streamlined.
I would watch. Yeah, there's a lot more movies I would watch if they knew how to tell the story in a 90-minute format.
For sure. Which is so
like,
rare nowadays.
I'm happy to watch. Yeah, I'm happy to watch a mediocre movie that's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, okay, cool. That was,
slightly
wasn't terrible.
Slightly above mediocre, I would say, for KIMI. Like I said, not great. I'm not going to tell people to watch this, but I'm not sad I watched it. Probably because the time investment was so low. Might have helped, It's a nice.
If you're not making a masterpiece, like, it better be 90 minutes.
It's a nice contained story.